What's up all my plant lovers, Devin is here. I wanted to do a quick video showing how to grow the Dracaena fragrans Massangiana, also known as the good luck totem pole, sometimes known as the corn plant, whatever you want to call it. We all recognize it as this beautiful house plant that looks kind of like a small tree wherever it's growing inside your home. They are one of my favorite house plants. I like to have them kind of in all of the corners, especially because they don't really require so much sunlight, so you can place it in areas of the home where other houseplants might not thrive, but these ones will. So the Dracaena fragrans Massangiana, I'll just refer to it as the good luck totem pole, is actually native to Africa. Now down there, or over there I should say, it is a broadleaf evergreen. So you can think like a boxwood here in the United States would be a broadleaf evergreen all year round. It retains its foliage and has that beautiful green lustrous foliage no matter the season. Down in Africa, over in Africa, same over there, it always retains its foliage, and therefore inside of our homes it's also always going to have foliage, which is another reason why I love it. It doesn't have any sort of dormancy period during the year. What makes the Massangiana so special and so beautiful in my opinion is it has this lemony stripes down the middle of the foliage, which looks so cool. It really gives a nice, gorgeous, elevated look to this particular good luck totem pole. Now, what I have here is a cutting of the Dracaena fragrans Massangiana. A little backstory, my family's business, Roberta's Gardens, we started our company selling cuttings of this plant back in the 1960s at the World's Fairs. Back then, the cuttings were quite small, maybe the thickness of, I don't know, a quarter or so. Today, they are the thickness of like 3 to 4 inches in width. So they're really nice, beautiful cuttings. And the way that we actually harvest these plants is at our farms, we basically, you can imagine, these plants out in the wild, out in their native warm conditions, they will grow 15, 20, even 30 feet tall, producing beautiful branches like this as well. Inside the home, a plant like this is probably about as big as you can ever expect. Maybe a little bit taller, but that would take very, very long. This is probably five years old or so. And, but basically out at our farms, what we do we wait for them to get quite tall, quite large, beautiful branching, and then we will basically chop the plants down, chop these shrubs down, and divide those trunks and those branches into sections, which look like this. And then once we cut them off, because our farms are over in Costa Rica, what we do is we actually seal the ends with wax, and that holds more, it keeps it from drying out in transit as it travels from Costa Rica to homes in North America. What we've done is we've actually coated them with wax of different colors. One side is green and the other is red. And for us, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a dull butter knife, and what you do is you just start to remove the wax off of that red side. So the red wax is going to be down, and then the green side is what is going to be growing upwards. And you can imagine that it's really important to get the cutting the right direction, because if you have it upside down, it's not going to be able to grow roots out of what it wants to be growing leaves. So it's really important to make the distinction which side is the green side and which side is the red side. So once you've figured it out, you just basically start removing the wax just like this. Just with some sort of kitchen dinner knife. Doesn't have to be sharp at all. You can see I'm just removing it like that. Try to get as much off as possible, but it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Then once you have the red wax eliminated, removed, go ahead and find, like, it can be a clear glass, a clear plastic, clear container, and place your cutting in. You can see I have it in, that's about 4 inches of water. That's pretty much perfect. We like to use a clear container because really it helps sunlight enter, it helps keep the water clean, and we can actually see if there's any developments, if there's anything going on. We can also visually see if that water needs to be changed. You can also start to smell if the water needs to be changed, which is totally normal. I typically change the water in mine twice a week. every Monday and Thursday, for instance, if you want to get on a routine. Then once you have it soaking in the water, what's going to happen is two things. Typically first, you'll start to get some growth out of the sides of the cuttings. Here you can see growth is emanating from here, from these other different sections, and that's awesome. That's normally what happens first. And we started this in water about 2 months ago. So it's really starting to take off, starting to do really nice. But I recommend waiting until you see some roots start to come out of the bottom, which there are none starting yet. Maybe some just getting going, actually. Looks like there's some protrusions happening right around here, which hopefully those will be roots coming out soon. I think it's really best practice to wait until you see some roots coming from this cutting before you transport it, before you transfer it into a container of soil. Then once you have those roots and you're ready to transplant it to your soil, I like to start it in about a 6-inch container. That's typically the best size. You don't want to have it swimming in some large 8, 10, 12-inch container. A nice small 6-inch container is the best. And when you're planting it, basically, I said you want to have about 4 inches soaking in that water. That's about as deep as you want to plant it. Plant it maybe 4 inches down, maybe, plant it about 4 inches down into the soil, and that should be deep enough so that it can easily stand upright. Now I transported this guy, a plant that was like this, into a container of soil about 6 months ago, and you can start to see all of the growth that's occurring. Once you see growth like this, you know that it is healthy and that it's really doing what you want it to do, which is grow and produce that beautiful lemony lime foliage. In terms of care inside the home, I typically water this once every 10 to 14 days. I don't give it a ton of water, but I also water it more than I would like a succulent. I have this in an area that gets bright light, but it's not right up against a window by any means. You could put this in a room that has an east-facing window. Probably stay away from your north-facing window areas of the home. West or south is also absolutely fantastic. Just being in a very bright location is the best. And if you want some expedited growth, you want it to grow even faster, placing it outside in the summertime in a mostly shaded location, could get some morning sun. That would be the most you would want to give it. That's going to really help it to reach maximum potential like these ones. We always keep ours outside in the summertime on our patios and on our decks just to keep us company. That's pretty much all that you need to know how to get your totem pole cutting started so that you can get the fastest growth with the most beautiful lemony lime foliage inside your home. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other further questions, make sure to leave a comment below and I will definitely answer them to make sure that you are growing with ease. Thanks for joining me here on Plant Vibrations, and I will catch you soon. Ciao.